Cricbuzz Comm, remember this is game number 7, the pivotal game number 7 for the men from Punjab. In previous seasons, it's seen a significant change, either heading upwards or heading downwards. Last season, they headed upwards thanks to the big Jamaican Christopher Henry Gale. This time around, the only difference being Gale was playing the earlier games. He has shown glimpses, but today the real Gale has come to the party. 45 of 22, and this is just in the first 10 overs. Another 10 to go with Rahul still batting at the other end, enjoying the view, and of course, contributing a few of his own. 90 for 1 in 10 overs form, and I think a few furrows on the brows of the gentleman from Bangalore. Shaun Pollock joins me. Shaun, they couldn't have asked for a better start. This is the kind of intent you need for a side who are at the bottom or in the second half of the table.
Yeah, for sure. This is exactly what they required. How good's Gale been? This is the form. This is what we were discussing in the show before. There's always that possibility that he can play these kind of innings and really put teams under pressure. So they'll be excited about that. I wouldn't want them to throw away the wickets. And you almost get the feeling that they've just gone a little bit cautious. Maybe for the next 3 or 4 overs, they won't throw too much caution to the wind. They want to keep those wickets in hand. I think if they look at their batting lineup, they think Huda and Puran are people who can strike it. But I don't think they're going to be willy-nilly. I don't think they're going to throw things away. And Gale, in the form he's in, I think he's just shifting down for a few gears, and then it won't be long before he decides to unleash again.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It'll be something because they know where they stand. It's just sort of treading on dangerous territory, because if they were the kind of team who had a Maxwell and an AB de Villiers still to come, then you tell yourself, look, there's lots in the tank, let's go for it. Yes, Huda's shown potential, but it's not quite the same. So these two will want to stay a little bit longer for Punjab's sake.
Yeah, like a Hardik Pandya and Pollard in those kind of teams, or Jadeja and Dhoni, the way they've been striking. So I think it is the case in point. I think it is the plan. And RCB got a lot to think about here. They've got to be careful about what options they go to. The game plans that they decide to execute have to be really smart, because not only are they in a good position, Punjab, they've got that intimidating factor. And, having bowled to Gale back in the day, you used to always fear, when you came on, because, you don't get that delivery. He often decides to target you at your first delivery. So you don't get that delivery to get into the over or into your spell at all. He'll just go at you. And there'll be a point where he decides, okay, I'm now going to put them under pressure. Chahal struggled today, so it's going to be interesting to see who they decide to maybe mix and match his overs with. But, not going according to plan for RCB, and I think they might be chasing more than they originally thought.
A few memories, possibly. 2007 opening game of the World T20.
Yes. There were a couple of inside edges. There was a couple of lucky, streaky shots there, but he did middle a few onto the bank.
Yeah, it's one of those that I was on a flight from the UK to South Africa, heading to Cape Town, landed, found out all about the carnage. What an opening it was to the tournament. But let's come back to this particular tournament and the potential that lies ahead for a huge score. The bowling card is going to be important, because remember, Virat Kohli, what he's been saying throughout, he's got bowlers at his disposal. At the moment, he doesn't look like he has too many places to turn to. Sams has bowled a perfect spell early on, and he's been the one who's looked most like getting a wicket. And I can tell you, Shaun Pollock, he's the one who's got Gale out finally. Call it Cricbuzz Comm's curse or an inspired move from Virat Kohli. He's gone back to Daniel Sams.
Yeah, I was actually going to say this, and I know it's going to come and say, it's after the fact. I was going to say, I think he's the man that he needs to turn to. That left-handed option around the wicket. He's got those variations. He can mix things up. And there's not someone who Gale's seen a lot of. And that's why I thought he might be the better option to go to. And I'll be looking forward to see how the wicket transpired and how he was dismissed. But that is a massive blow. I'm sure on the footage, you would have had Virat Kohli getting very excited about the fact.
Well, in case you're wondering why I'm flapping my arms, it's not because I'm excited about Daniel Sams taking the wicket. I had a moth who popped in with irritation value, much like Daniel Sams must be for the men in Punjab. How does this change the equation, Shaun Pollock? Because Gale looked good for 100 possibly here. Now, they've got to rely on Huda, and they've got to rely on that middle order, and Rahul has to rethink.
Yeah, he might have to adjust the way he plays. I think he'd still like to be there at the 15th or 16th over, but he might have to take the odd risk just to give the other guys time to settle in. But I think it more likely changes the plan for RCB. All of a sudden, there's a bit of belief that jumps back into that team, and the bowlers are now keen again to get back to that crease and deliver 6 deliveries.
Yeah, they've still got the option of Shabazz, which they have not used. Remember, no Washington Sundar playing today, so that might just be an X factor. Chahal will feel a little better about life with Gale gone, and of course with Sam's bowling well, with Harshal Patel, who typically takes wickets between overs 12 and 16. It looks as if they could restrict them. Give me a number from after Gale's dismissal. Still thinking 180?
Yeah, I think that will be the case. I would, if I was in the Punjab dugout now, I'd be saying to Huda, listen, you need to go. You just need to really back yourself today. We need you to continue, play similar to what Chris has just done, and then get Rahul to anchor it from the other end. And if he does that, then they could even post more than that.
Well, one carefree Caribbean stroke maker has been replaced by another. Christopher Henry's gone. Nicholas Puran has come in. Not had a great tournament till now, but if he can produce what he's capable of, then we should be talking about all our predictions going out the window, perhaps even 200. We'll come back at the end. This is Cricbuzz Comm Box.